Good evening and welcome to Baturdays in the BatCave. I'm OmniDog from OmniDog's Vault with my co-host, the Minister of Comics. What's up, Min?
Nothing much. We're usually two pretty positive guys, but tonight we're going to be two negative guys and airing our grievances around the Festivus poll, which Jess.
Festivus poll right here.
Did you see the poll, Kruger? Those of you who know Seinfeld.
You see the poll, Kruger? I find your belief system fascinating.
I have a lot of problems with you comic book companies, and you're going to hear all about it tonight.
We are airing our grievances tonight against collected edition purveyors. We're normally very positive, but this is the airing of grievances. And this is, I'll say this before every episode from now on, because while we love chatting and going off on tangents, some people actually tune in for the topic. So for those of you who want to know when the topic starts, I'll put it in the description. Topic starts at whatever time, so you can skip the frivolity and go right to the topic, because we generally don't start with the topic. I don't think the chat likes it, doesn't like it. Yeah, see, Arya's got it right.
And I want to say right at the top that since this is such a negative show, Jess and I want to give back a little bit. So if you give any super chats, if we get any ad revenue, it's all going to go to the Human Fund, because the Human Fund raises money for people. If there's anything that Jess loves in this world, it is people. And so he wants to raise money for people of any shape, size, and kind. So he's going to make sure all that money goes to the Human Fund, right, Jess?
That's right, the Human Fund. And I have to pretend to drop my bubble gum in the bagel dough. Blah. At the place where I'm not even employed.
As I rained down blows upon him, I thought there has to be another way.
I love that rain down blows upon him.
And if it was feasible, Jess and I would do a whole Seinfeld episode, but we're not sure how many people would actually stay through the whole thing. So we'll stay clear of Seinfeld beyond the Festivus poll and the airing of grievances. Since Jess and I aren't in the same room, there can't be any feats of strength. So maybe do some feats of strength at home with some of your loved ones or children or siblings or whoever you have around you.
Feats of strength. What else was there?
There was the feats of strength and the airing of grievances. I think that's pretty much all they got.
Was that okay?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And the poll, because Frank doesn't like tinsel because he finds it distracting.
The Festivus poll.
What even is that for?
It's actually a Christmas tree, a fake Christmas tree for our Art Deco basement. It's got it's from the 50s, and you put silver tinsel branches in it and a topper, and the branches are just not in it right now because it's not Christmas time.
Yeah, D.H. McAdams, Serenity now.
Serenity now.
Serenity now, insanity later.
Let's see. I want to get this in the picture, but it is sort of.
There you go, right there.
Okay. Because it is distracting me.
It goes against the reason for the poll. The poll is supposed to not be distracting. Like
right. They're not color coded. They're all the same size and shape and everything. It's all one tree. One branch goes in each little hole here. Of course, there's a story behind it. My wife and I were like, let's see, my daughter was probably 2. So this is the early 90s. And we were, no. Probably the mid 90s. I was doing Collector's Showcase, and we wanted, the Art Deco basement needed a fake silver tinsel tree. And you can't just, this is before Amazon or anything. And so we went to a giant outdoor in December in Northern Virginia. It was very cold. It was a metro parking lot that had been turned into a flea market. And we were there for like 3 hours, and everybody was getting cranky, especially me. My daughter was fine. and we gave up. We were walking out, and boom, we saw this in a box, and it said $35. And I was like, I would pay 100 right now. I just want to get out of here. I said, is that tree's 35? And she said, oh, it's near the end. You can have it for 10. So we got it for $10, our perfect tree. And it goes up every year with antique or Art Deco Christmas decorations. Thank you very much. That my wife hates.
And Jess, Marcelo Ramos has a good idea for you to use Serenity Now at a certain time.
Oh, that's coming up tonight, Marcelo. You know me well. That's one of my grievances. Sure is.
That's the thing about this show. People know us better than we know ourselves.
Yeah, we know each other.
Well, Jess, we were having an interesting conversation via text earlier about some of the things you want to get rid of, hopefully, right? Potentially.
Potentially, yeah. I'm struggling with it, but because I feel like I'm parting. If I had gotten these things when I was 13 years old, it would have been a completely different story. But these golden age omnis for Superman and Batman, I am now almost 100% convinced I am not going to read them. When I was 13 or 14, that was the history I wanted. I would have loved to have had those things back then, especially in color. But I've got 8 volumes of Batman, and I think I've got 6 or 7 of Superman. And I am not going to read those. I am just not going to read them. And I need shelf space. I am totally running out of shelf space. Even with the doubling up Inman 40 Kalax trick, I'm running out of shelf space. So I think I am going to sell those Omnis.
Doc Collector's a good idea. You should do like a live auction at some point.
Are you allowed to do that on YouTube?
Pretty sure.
I know you can do it on Instagram.
That could be a good idea on Instagram too.
I'm happy to sell those here.
I'm sure you can. I don't see why you couldn't.
I wonder how. Okay, the collector says yes. Okay, since I will assume you're speaking for YouTube. I guess I would give my PayPal address to those people who win.
I think you would just give them like your OmniDogs Vault email and just say email me with. I don't know. You can figure it out somehow.
Yeah, okay, that's a good idea.
Email me with the book that you won, or the one you purchased, or said you'll purchase, and then I'll send you my PayPal information.
Okay.
But then you could have Michael Eamon sending you an email saying, "Give me Captain Britain for $0 and 0 cents." So that might be. Maybe we'll think of another way to do it.
Or Sergio. What's Sergio want? He wants the Dr. Fate archives.
Well, you were saying if you sell those Golden Age Omnis, that's like a shelf and a half of space that you've cleared out.
It is, and those are big Omnis. It's a big. It would free me up for a big hunk. They're not down here in the BatCave. They're upstairs in like our library on the second floor near our bedroom. But yeah, it would give me a lot of shelf space.
I realize that whenever I start rearranging my Marvel shelf and put on all the books that I've bought recently and have stacked up, it's not going to fit on there. And I'm running out of space on these other 2 shelves over here too. My DC shelf is the only one that has space still. So what I'm going to have to do is I have to clean out my closet and go to IKEA and get a new shelf to put in my closet over here. So that's going to be my spring project, because I keep telling Jess, winter up here in Pittsburgh has not been fun. So when spring comes, I'm going to literally skip down my street, and my wife's going to take a video and send it to Jess, because Jess really wants to see that. And as soon as I'm done skipping, I'm going to drive to IKEA and get that shelf.
I love putting together IKEA shelves.
Oh, it'll be fun, but I don't want to do it right now in the winter. I'm going to wait till it's nicer out and
go
in the spring.
Sazmurf, I have bad news for you. I'm never selling those. MJ and Gwen were the first sideshows I ever got.
Did you know that? Read KC's comment up above, the one you just highlighted. I didn't know Donnie Cates was doing Spawn with McFarlane. I know we're not big Spawn fans, but I never even heard that.
I did hear that. I think maybe within the past day or so.
Okay, interesting.
I don't read Spawn, so I don't have an opinion on it. I'm sorry, KC. Maybe Donnie Cates can make some sense of it, but he's doing it with McFarlane. Maybe McFarlane's doing the art and Donnie Cates is drawing it.
Donnie Cates is writing it.
What'd I say?
You said
Donnie Cates writing, McFarlane drawing.
So KC said it's going to be a new Spawn universe. That could be interesting. I'm not really interested in Spawn, but if it's kind of like a new reboot and Donnie Cates is writing it, I could be tempted by that. I do like Donnie Cates.
Yeah.
I just finished Guardians of the Galaxy and Silver Surfer Black by him.
Yeah, you can still call me Omnidog. I'll show you. I still have enough Omnis.
You used to kind of like switch it up every once in a while and do like different viewpoints in your office, didn't you?
Yeah, I do that for my reviews, when I do reviews for myself, because I use my iPhone and I put it on a I put it on a tripod like you have.
Okay.
And I couldn't do it right here, or else the camera would be right up in my face. So I do go to different points in my room for that.
And Doc Collector says the hardcover for Cates / McFarlane will be $100 for 6 issues. I mean, based off the Marvel Cosmic Universe by Donnie Cates. That'll be one of my airing of grievances, so I'll save that for a little bit.
I just won't be golden Omnidog. I still love the Silver Age. I'll be keeping all my Silver Age Omnis.
Stay silver, Omnidog.
I will.
Instead of staying golden, stay silver.
I read that in Bleeding Cool yesterday. I don't know what to make of Bleeding Cool. Is DC? It said that the Bleeding Cool article said that a clutch of billionaires that were comic book fans wanted to take the comic publishing, buy the comic publishing rights, and leave all the other rights to Warner Brothers, AT&T, like T-shirts and movies and everything, and just to make sure the comic books still get printed. That was a big article in Bleeding Cool yesterday. So,
I mean, no matter what happens, I know we've had a lot of speculation off of, is DC going to publish comics anymore? The comics with DC characters aren't going to go away anytime soon. It's just a matter of who's going to release them. Is it going to be DC proper, or will they rent it out to IDW or somewhere, some Dark Horse? It's just a matter of where it's going to go. There's no way that there's never going to be another Batman comic, another Superman comic. That's not going to happen. I think it's just a matter of who's going to be the one publishing it. I have a hard time imagining there never being a Batman comic ever again.
I don't know anymore.
I don't want to live in a world where there's no Batman, Superman comics coming out.
Well, I agree with that.
That's not any kind of world I want to live in.
Yeah, I did just finish the New Mutants Omni. That was a big dude, and it was great.
And you and T-Bone are doing a review of that soon, right?
Yeah. I like it when you move around the room for your videos, Jess. Okay, good. Thank you.
I like when you do some videos in your diner table sometimes. That's a cool view.
Okay, I can do some from there.
Isn't that what you usually do when like a visitor comes and you do a show with like Omar or?
Well, if Omar is ever allowed in here again, it won't be in this room. It'll be out there.
You'll do a live show on your lawn.
Yeah, we'll do a live show from the YMCA or something.
You could do it from the hotel room 20 miles away where Omar's staying.
Yeah, exactly.
Zaz Murph is going to what Jim Lee said recently, apparently.
At a retailer conference, the DC will still be publishing comics if the rumors aren't true. As long as I get my comics,
I don't think Jim Lee would confirm rumors unless it was like a done deal. They're not going to say anything if that ends up happening until the ink is dry and they're ready to go to announce it. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying if it is true, they're definitely not going to confirm rumors.
And KC loves Criminal. That's good. We love Criminal too.
It's definitely my favorite indie. Well, I'm gonna say indie comic, but it's not a big two comic. So I guess technically, whenever I say indie comic, I think of like Kristen books, not Criminal. But
Crazy Jane wants me to jump off the roof. I heard he was buying publishing rights to DC Comics. Oh, crazy! Come on.
The irredeemable Batman #1. What would
I,
you do, Jess, if Robert Kirkman was the next Batman writer?
oh, I don't know. I don't know that I could read it. That would be horrible.
You do like Invincible, at least.
I do. I like Invincible, and there's another book he wrote that I liked. Wait.
Can't think of the other one.
Uh,
You don't like Outcast. You ever read The Walking Dead.
no,
You don't like Astounding Wolfman or Astonishing Wolfman, whichever it was.
I didn't like his Ant-Man. But
Nobody likes his Ant-Man.
but I think there might be one other book by him that I do like. Well, I know I like him. Maybe it's just Invincible, but I feel like there's another one that I like. No, I didn't like Oblivion Song. Sorry, Dick.
Oh, you read it? I didn't know you read that. I thought you just skipped it.
I read the first couple floppies, and it wasn't for me.
Oh, nice. Highlight Hayden McGee. On my Instagram, I challenged Hayden McGee to do a Timverse binge whenever he's done with his Supernatural binge this year. I did a post about all the different Timverse cartoons I have on Blu-ray and how I can't wait for the Superman one to come out. And he said he's only seen Batman animated series. So he needs to watch Batman Beyond, Justice League Unlimited, and Superman. Which I guess you need to do as well once you finish Batman.
Yep.
You have a lot of goodness coming for you, Jess, in terms of cartoons.
Hunt. Maybe it's Hunt. Because I do have Hunt, and I liked it.
Did you ever read Thief of Thieves?
Yeah, and I didn't like it.
Did you know Andy Diggle did that series for a while?
I did not.
I guess he wrote on it for a long time. I heard that was at the high point of the run, which makes sense because he's a great writer.
Yeah. Joe Chip expects a lot of whining. Okay.
We'll try our best.
We will try our best to whine as much as we can for you.
This isn't your first complaining episode, Jess. This isn't your first rodeo. Didn't you on Omnibros do like opinions we hate or something like that?
Oh, we've done hate episodes before. It's fun to hate stuff with Riley. You can get Riley into hate mode really quickly. It's good. It's
like
fun.
The Civil War II drunken review.
Yeah, we've done a couple of hate episodes on Omnibros, yeah. But on this channel, I like to present a more positive attitude. Well, of course, my most popular video ever is me bashing the Neil Adams Batman omnibus. So that's, not very positive. I took out the word hate and put why I strongly dislike Neil Adams Batman omnibus or something.
With a fiery passion or something.
Yeah, with a fiery passion. Because I didn't want to put hate.
Well, we generally try to be a positive influence. I'm the minister of comics, but even the minister has to vent sometimes and let some things off his chest.
Here's a compliment for you.
Oh, thanks, dude. I appreciate that. I think I've decided I'm not going to do a YouTube channel, at least for right now. I don't want to say I'm never going to do it. I just feel like it's such a populated field, and it takes a lot of work. And like Jess, I don't want to edit. So maybe if I can get like Tyler Blunt to edit, and trying to get Tyler Blunt to consistently do something is like trying to pull teeth. So I probably wouldn't do that.
You know what? Joseph, his friend, is the one that does all the editing.
Right. I know Tyler can edit. He doesn't like to.
Right.
But I don't know Joseph, so I don't want to say, hey, edit my videos for free, please.
Yeah.
But
that's what Tyler does.
If I had a YouTube channel, I would want to edit it and kind of make it more streamlined and have some cool elements to it. And I just feel like it's going to be a lot of work. Instagram is really easy. I can just do a post, do a review in like 10 minutes and be done. So I've been enjoying it so far. So this is my handle right here, @Minister of Comics. Give me a follow if you're on Instagram. I try to post once a day. Sometimes I post twice a day. So I'd love to see you guys on there. Comment, like, subscribe to my Instagram channel. That'd be great. Well, Instagram page.
And I'll put a hot link to it in the description. That's where I put all our links.
Marcelo, Omar used to hate quickly too. Now that he has a relationship with Marvel, he thinks twice before openly hating something. Not with DC though. DC, he's willing to say different things because they've there is no DC collected editions department, which will probably get into our complaints later. I can say that the majority of our complaints will probably be centered around DC. I could probably see that happening.
I made sure to get other publishers that we weren't just bashing on DC.
I'm not saying we're not going to bash other companies. I'm just saying they're probably going to be the biggest culprit out of all of them.
Okay.
That kind of goes without saying, I guess.
Right. Yeah, I agree that. I don't know about this, the collector. What is this? The Canadian Dry Bold Ginger Ale Chug Challenge. I thought someone here said they were going to do it. What is that? Canadian Dry Bold Ginger Ale Chug Challenge. I don't know about that. It's probably a good thing. I don't know about that.
Are you a ginger ale kind of guy?
I like ginger ale, yeah.
Do you know what my wife thinks is gross that my family and I used to do growing up? We used to have ginger ale floats.
Oh, I like ginger ale
They're
floats.
good. She's like, that's gross. I'm like, how's that gross? You love ginger ale and you love ice cream. Both of them together has to be great. It's really good.
Yeah, ice cream. It's not like you're putting ketchup on it. Ginger ale's good.
I mean, root beer floats are obviously better, but ginger ale floats is a good second choice. You don't have any root beer. Well, Johnny Airwindows is talking about a Batman line that I think you have coming soon, right?
Just what are your thoughts on the Batman Last Night on Earth McFarlane wave? It's all coming from GameStop. I just got the email that it's all been shipped. I ordered all of them.
I was at Target the other week, and they had every single toy in the line. And then I went a couple days later, and they were all gone.
Oh,
So they went really quick.
Target pre-orders on those sold out immediately.
Target pre-orders are insane. You have to get there like day 1, hour 1 to be able to get the pre-orders.
For Target?
Pretty much.
You got to get there within the first 15 minutes.
Because remember, we got the jump on the Batman Beyond McFarlane, but we didn't want the one with the mask. We wanted the one with the nose and the mouth, and that's not going to be for a little bit.
Right.
I thought that I dislike the Last Night on Earth wave. It just didn't really tickle my fancy enough. I feel like I don't know why. I really want the Scythe Batman with the bone bat cycle you have behind you. That's what I want really bad. That's the next DC McFarlane figure that I want.
The bone cycle.
But for some reason, I don't. They're hard. They're kind of hard to get right now. I know Tyler found the Scythe Batman at Walmart, but the Bone one and the Scythe Batman are for pre-order on BBTS. They are not even available on there yet. So
yeah, BBTS is behind sometimes on things.
Buying toys is kind of frustrating sometimes. They make buying action figures kind of difficult.
I haven't had that problem. You just need to order enough so that you always have stuff coming in.
I just mean like you have to buy them certain places. You can't just jump on Amazon and find every figure that you want. Like sometimes Amazon will have them, but a lot of times you have to get a Target exclusive, Walgreens exclusive. You just have to go all over the place for them.
I think toy collectors like the hunt for toys. I don't. Even if there's not a pandemic, I wouldn't be going out hunting for figures. I just don't like that. Mostly because it makes me deal with other people.
You like hunting for comics, though.
That is true. I love the hunt for out of print collected edition.
What's the difference between those two things, you think? Because you enjoyed that, but you don't enjoy the other. Is there a difference, you think?
Yeah, my Target and Walmart around here, I don't even know that Walmart carries figures because I've gone in there a few times looking and I never see anything. And I never find anything at Target, ever. And so I've just given up. There's a Walgreens near me that I've had good luck with Marvel Legends. So I will do that. But I won't venture out to Walmart or Target anymore for toys.
Walmart never has anything, at least the ones that I go to. Target's usually better. Target always at least has some McFarlanes. Walmart's clear out of everything. You have to get there like the day the figures arrive to really get something in either place. That's really hard to find. That's at least my experience.
Yeah. Yeah. And this particular Walgreens, scalpers haven't found it. And the staff there don't even know they exist. I went in there asking about toys, and they suggested I go to Amazon, like 4 or 5 of the staff there. And I'm like, okay, this place is good. They don't even know toys exist. So I should be able to get the Walgreens Legends that just got announced yesterday.
I can hear Murdoch outside the door. I'm going to go open it for him. I think he's mad at me.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for the compliments on the Ram V interview. He was a really good guy. We really enjoyed interviewing with him. He was a really good guy. We're getting compliments on the
There's Murdoch.
Ram V interview. Oh, there's Murphy. Let me get. Whoop.
He's somewhere over
Murdoch,
there.
I mean.
There you go, Murd.
There he is. Hey, dude.
My wife's not here right now. He's downstairs by himself, and he wasn't happy.
Oh, I can see that.
The other night, I was doing a show with Tyler on his channel, Super Squad D, at like 11:30 at night, because Tyler doesn't really respect our time because he acts like because he's an hour behind us. So he's like, "Oh, you're fine." And so I started at 11:30 with him. My wife texted me and said, "Murdoch just jumped in the bed." So he pushed into our room and jumped into the bed while my wife was sleeping. So she wasn't very happy with me that night. He doesn't like being by himself down there. Huh, bud? Huh.
Johnny Air Windows, those two aren't Walgreens exclusives. Those are available for pre-order on Lady Deathstrike and Red Skull are available for pre-order on BBTS and Hasbro Pulse and probably Entertainment Earth. Actually, the Marvel exclusives at Walgreens, I'm not even sure were that interesting. One was the AI of Tony Stark when he was dead, and he had the AI floating around, but it's a blue head in an Iron Man suit, so it looks like Iceman in an Iron Man suit. And then there was a couple others that let me think of who they were. I was just looking at them.
The hero wave or the villain wave?
Well, the villains wave is available everywhere, but the Walgreens wave, I don't really remember seeing anything that I was dying for. Like I want that Silver Surfer, excuse me, Silver Surfer Black.
I need to try to reach out to like some Marvel Legends people and see if like we can get like a Marvel Legends I'm not a manufacturer, but someone who works in Marvel Legends on the show, so we could talk to them about this kind of stuff. That'd be really interesting. I want to understand like why certain things are Walgreens exclusives, why some things are targeted. Like how do they figure that kind of stuff out? I think that'd be interesting.
Okay, go for it.
I did like that Marvel Legends 616 episode. That was a great. Well, it was a figures episode in general, but it was a lot about Marvel Legends.
Yeah, it was great.
That was probably the best like hour of TV for you and Tyler of the past 20 years.
Probably. Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate that. So far, she's back to her old self.
Yeah, right now, the Marvel Legend I want to get the Moon Knight Walgreens exclusive on eBay. It's not very expensive. I really love that Moon Knight. I need it for my Marvel Legends display up here, the street level heroes.
Right.
I would love to have that one. And I want to get a female character. I feel bad I only have male characters right now. And I was talking to Tyler about it today. I'm narrowed down to either Black Widow or X-23. But I'm leaning towards X-23 because I already have the Wolverine X-Force costume. And X-23 is a lot easier to get than Black Widow. Black Widows you have to get on eBay.
There's two Black Widows, that eBay one, but then there's another one that's easy to get.
And there's a movie Black Widow coming out, or it's already come out. I'm not sure.
Already out. Yeah, I've got it in my pile here.
I don't really love movie figures except for the I do like that Spider-Verse wave. That was really cool.
Oh, that's such a good wave. Oh, thank you, Crazy Jane, for liking my Elvis jacket. Speaking of Elvis, that video got a monetization hit from Elvis's estate because I played an Elvis song on there, even though I can't monetize those episodes because they contain copyrighted music. I never monetize them. But
that stinks. That's 34 cents that could have gone to the Human Fund.
To the Human Fund, yeah. So that's weird that they made that copyright claim. So I don't know how they would get revenue from it because I didn't monetize it. So I don't know.
I guess you have to be careful with all your future videos with music stuff.
No, well, I'm not monetizing any of those collector showcase ones because they've all got music on them.
But is it still a copyright strike even if you aren't
It's not,
monetizing them?
it's not a copyright strike. It's called something else. It's a copyright claim where they claim any revenue from your video for it. It's not a strike. A strike
Okay.
would be a big deal.
We almost got a
get,
strike that one time when we did DC Fandom. We showed the trailers. We almost got a strike, but they didn't give us one.
yeah, and you're only allowed 3, and then you're off forever.
Jeez. Well, I'm glad that that video is up there. We need it for posterity's sake. You dancing to Elvis in your really cool blazer. So
I tried that on the other day, and it still fits.
With your Crockett and Tubbs blazer that you can roll up to the elbow.
Let's see. Jess, did you open the C-Cons yet? I wanted to buy them, but they were pretty expensive. Plus, the white alternate version you have only come with 5 members and not 6, like the purple, blue, pink ones. C-Cons? What am I? I'm missing something. I'm sorry, Inman 40. I'm not understanding that.
Could it be like Decepticons from Transformers?
Oh, easily.
Maybe that's what he's talking about.
Is that what you're talking about?
Maybe it could mean Decepticons. That's all I can really think of. Secons. So maybe.
I haven't opened anything yet. Transformers. Okay, yeah. I haven't opened any Transformers yet.
N-Man 40, Jess is not well versed in Transformers vernacular, so you have to put it on the bottom shelf for him.
Decepticon are Decepticon sea creatures. Oh, okay. I just like the ones that look cool. That's as far as I go with Transformers. If they look cool, the C-Cons box set. Is that the big thing I got?
I was telling Tyler, getting him to buy stuff is pretty easy, but you're even easier because with Tyler, you kind of have to talk him into it sometimes. With you just go, oh, this looks cool. And you're like, oh, okay. And you just go order it.
Is that this thing, Inman, that you're talking about? With all these creatures in it? Oh, yeah. Gosh, this is cool. I forgot that this was in here. Let's see if I can show it without knocking over my computer, knocking over my Coke, knocking over everything on my desk.
Wasn't that the one you showed off 2 weeks ago, I think?
Maybe, yeah. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to show it off without ruining everything.
It's like a pizza box of toys.
Yeah.
They'll tumble out.
That's what I'm worried about.
I really wish you'd all been on our private chat with Tyler Blunt 2 weeks ago when he literally tripped with 10 boxes of figures. He knocked them all over and fell on top of them in our video chat. It was so much fun.
So
me and Jess almost threw up laughing pretty much.
Oh, I almost burst blood vessels in my head. I laughed. Tyler just so excited coming out with his figures and tripped and just lost all of them. So I have opened this, but I haven't played with them yet. I'm kind of saving that. I don't know what for. I'm just saving them.
Where did you put all your toys and have your wife join the Omni Bros chat for a minute or two on Monday?
They went behind the soda fountain.
Oh, right. Yeah, because I said, what if your wife was like, hey, Jess, you want a malt or something? Want some ice cream?
Fortunately, yeah. It is a working soda fountain, but we don't. I mean, you'd have to bring in huge things of carbon dioxide and the syrup and everything and soda water or water and everything.
Have you ever used it or no?
No. It does work, but I mean, it'd be a complete mess. It's really, I mean, it's a soda fountain with a working like Coke and Sprite and root beer dispenser that lights up, but it's there for show.
Yeah, Comic Bound. Tyler does like almost getting kicked out of stores for knocking over boxes. I've lost count of how many times I've heard Tyler ordering at a fast food place because I'm sure he calls you on the phone too.
All the time.
He's like, hold on, I'll have a large fry. I'll have cheap mozzarella. He called me from Arby's today ordering his mozzarella sticks. I've heard him order so many times.
Yeah. He always goes out to lunch. Junkiest junk food he can possibly eat.
And he's in better shape than either of us have ever been.
There's not an ounce of fat on that guy's body.
And he was talking to me on the phone today. He was drinking a Bang energy drink and a big bag of gummy bears while he was driving. He calls me, and I hear him pop a top. And then he's like, "Can you guess what I'm eating?" And he starts wrinkling the bag. I'm like, "I'm guessing it's gummy bears." And he's like, "You know me so well."
He just sounded just like him right there.
I've talked to him enough now. Like, it's pretty easy to do a pretty good Tyler impression.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Jesse Christian digs our background. Thanks. I just randomly chose it. Let's see. Are there any other Transformer questions that I can't find the answer to? Those 6 C-cons merged to form Piranacon.
Whoa. Sounds intense.
And the trick is for me to do it without watching a YouTube video. You saw how I struggled on Omnibros with just Love Bug or whatever that one was called.
I think I missed that episode.
That was not Yellow Jacket. What's that one? Bumblebee.
Oh gosh.
It's a little.
I don't even know who Bumblebee is.
Yeah, Bumblebee. And I got it into robot form, but I could not. It took me 3 episodes of Omnibros to actually get it into Volkswagen form.
Now you have to get the Transformers IDW books to justify your figures.
Rick Nelson sent me one, and I appreciated that, but just wasn't my thing.
Oh, so it wasn't like a TMNT or a Power Rangers where kind of hooked you in?
TMNT hooked me in. I'm still a little lukewarm on Power Rangers.
I need those Power Ranger books. So. If you ever want to sell them, I'll buy them from you.
What's that?
If you ever want to sell those Power Rangers, I'll buy them from you.
It might be a little late for that.
Oh, did you sell them?
I don't want Tyler to find out. He'll flip.
He won't care. I'll just tell him to shut up and let Jess sell them to me. It's going from one friend to the other, so he can't be mad.
No, I sold them on eBay.
Oh, you did? Okay. I'll be able to get Tyler to sell me one of his 20 sets that he has.
What? Do you like Power Rangers?
I did when I was a kid, and I'm interested in the comic. I was just too late to the party. It was one of those things where they all like sold out. But, I can't really get. I mean, not all of them. The first one at least sold out. Second one I think you can get, but I don't want to get the second one unless I know I can get the first one.
It was the third one that I ordered on the golf course, where I was like, "Okay, guys, hold it. I got IST right here at 3 p.m. I got to get this Power Rangers book," and they're like, "What are you doing? We're playing here." Like, no. Everybody just relax for 2 minutes.
Well, I like Kyle Higgins as a writer, and I really dig the Power Rangers as a concept. The cartoon is just so campy, and so having like a more serious version of it would be interesting to me.
Okay.
But I don't know. Maybe they'll reprint. I'm sure Boom will reprint those at some point. I thought they're guaranteed money makers.
Yeah. They definitely are. That is one of my gripes about, we'll get to it. It's like I said, yeah, we're still at tangents. I told the audience that I would mark it in the description when we actually get to the topic, because some people would rather see the topic than hear tangents. So I will make note of what time it is and put that into the description. I have heard of Megazord, but I don't know what he looks like. Here's a real question, actually. Oh yeah, just with IST 1 week delay, are both 217 and 224 releases happening on the same day? I'm not 100% sure about that. I don't think they can get into the warehouse yet, and if they do finally get in there, if there's any kind of, I mean, the parking lot has to be safe, and so does the building. I guess Memphis just got rocked with all kinds of ice, like, Texas and all these other places, Mississippi. So I assume that's what's going to happen, but I can't say with any authority that that's really going to happen. We'll probably find out Monday. We'll probably find out Monday if Emily sends me the sends me the release sheet.
Yeah, up here in Pittsburgh, the storms are way overhyped, but down south, they probably got less than what we got here, but they can't handle. They don't have the infrastructure to handle any of that kind of stuff like we do up here.
Yeah.
My driveway was a sheet of ice on Sunday. Couldn't get out of the driveway, and I slammed my back really hard on the pavement.
Yeah, that's right. I have a live monitor up here in the corner, Flomofo, that says we're at 40 minutes and 38 seconds right now.
Well, now might be a good time to start the topic, huh, Jess?
Yeah.
And then we can get to tangents by the end of it.
We can what?
We can get back to tangents after our topic then. But I think this topic is good for chat discussion. Let us know in the comments, in the chat, what your biggest complaints are in terms of collected editions.
Yeah, and if you're watching afterwards, you can put in the comments what your complaints are. We're probably going to cover a big chunk of what your complaints are, but you may have some of your own that we don't hit. So let's see.
It's time to gather around the Festivus poll. We finally got to the airing of the grievances of the night.
That's right. And we got a lot of problems with you publishers out there.
Jess, do you want to start with our first complaint?
Yeah, I actually have mine written down, so I don't know what yours are.
So we're starting the topic at 41 minutes and 47 seconds.
Okay, 41:47. My first complaint will be the way DC released Metal. Not only do we not have a Metal omnibus yet, Metal has proven popular enough. This isn't about what you think of Metal. This is how it was presented. Metal has proven popular enough that they've got death metal going on now, and Metal has bled over into the DC universe. So Metal's a big part of DC, and this is 1 deluxe, 2 standard hardcovers, and a paperback. This is unacceptable. As a collected edition guy, this looks lousy on the shelf. It does not make for, I mean, I guess it makes for an okay reading experience, but it would have been easy to make them all deluxes. That it would not have been hard.
Or at least all standard size hardcovers, just one consistent format. I would be fine with that.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that too. So that's my first complaint: is DC Metal released in all different kind of formats.
And it's gonna be the same problem with Metal. I'm sorry, Death Metal. I think it's gonna be 1 deluxe and then 3 paperbacks.
I think so too.
I think that's what it's going to be because DC's been going really cheap lately, and kind of going and keeping with that. So I've been following Peter Tomasi's the latest detective run. So there's 3 hardcovers, and they just released the 4th, and it's a paperback. And I even saw Tomasi complain about this on his Twitter, being like, "I have no idea why the company that's named after Detective Comics would do this."
Yeah.
And it looks like the fifth book is going to be another standard size hardcover. So why are you going back and forth like that? It's so annoying.
Oh no, that's a really good complaint because I just have Kelly Sue DeConnick's first 2 Aquaman in standard hardcover, and then it goes the next 2 books are paperback. But then if you're going back to hardcover, that's even a bigger complaint. It's
hard to tell though because this was solicited as a hardcover and people didn't know it was a paperback until they got it in the mail.
Oh,
and that's really, really egregious to me. You're pretty much lying to people.
That is, yeah, egregious.
I almost didn't get this, but I felt bad for Tomasi. It's not his fault and Doug Monkey's fault that DC is messing up and making horrible decisions. He was annoyed by it. And DC's not going to correct this mistake. So I decided to buy this anyway to support him and Doug Mahnke, because I thought this was a really good story. I really enjoyed this book. And Tom Taylor has a fantastic story in here.
Here are a couple of good complaints. Silver Surfer misprint, or, oh, don't use that word. Omnibus missing pages. Who checks these things? Yeah, Silver Surfer misprint. I didn't give, but I sold my original Silver Surfer to Raleigh Smith because he'd been wanting it so bad. And I had heard there was going to be a reprint. So I sold it to him for cover price. And now I don't know what one to buy because Marvel's there's no way to tell. I mean, there's a way to tell, but not if you're ordering it online, what you're going to get. Are you going to get a misprint or are you going to get a new version? That gripes my cookies. The collector's right. That really gripes my cookies. And Crazy Jane does not like the glued binding on Planetary Absolute. And that's a tragedy because that book is awesome. I love Planetary. Love it, love it, love it. And if it's poor glued binding, like with Swamp Thing 1 Absolute is the star of DC's collected editions department, if there was one. But back when there was one, Absolutes were their best, most popular. There's nothing else like it except for maybe DH library editions. And you put them together poorly. That is not thinking about the consumer at all.
Especially when they cost $100 cover price.
Yeah.
Like, that has to be a prestige format. It's not like a slap together trade paperback that's $15. It's a really expensive investment in a book that you really care about. So is the Planetary Omnibus still, I think that's out of print, right?
I don't know. I kept my Omnibus.
I have the Wildstorm thick trades they put out where's that? Over there, a couple of years ago. And the annoying thing was actually, this is a complaint. So let me get these out.
Yeah, Tyler, they do have the same ISBN, unfortunately.
So they released these like Wildstorm classic books. So they released a sleeper one because the sleeper omnibus has been out of print for a while. So they released book 1. Guess what they didn't do, Jess?
Release book 2.
They didn't release book 2. So I had to go find season 2 at a comic book store at an LCS. And the annoying thing is they both have the same exact cover. And that really annoys me. And so if you bought Sleeper 1, you're pretty much screwed unless you can find this at an LCS because this is also out of print.
Do you have the complete story now?
Yeah, it's a complete story. I have it all. So, but look at the spines, though. But I at least have it. That's the thing. I have the whole story here. And Jess and I will be reviewing this sometime soon on Crime Corner. This is a great story. It's like, come on, DC. It's one trade. How expensive would it have been to print this one trade? Or reprint the Omni? People would buy that.
Yeah, next to Maginot, that's the issue, though. I'm ordering online. I can't tell what the ribbon colors are online. If I go on Amazon, because every place else is out of them, Amazon's the only place to buy it. So I don't know how I'm going to find out what the ribbon color is. Do I call Amazon? That's
based on my interactions with Amazon call workers, they're not going to be able to tell you the color of the ribbon.
Yeah.
I was having my problems with Amazon the other day when I ordered Scarlet Witch off of Amazon by James Robinson because it's out of print. Well, it's out of stock a lot of places. And they sent me Sword something of X-Men by Kieran Gillen, a thin trade. Apparently they messed up the ISBN numbers. Oh. And so they're sending me a replacement, but I'm worried they're going to send me the same copy again. The guy assured me they won't, but he didn't instill the most confidence in me, Jess. I will say that. So I might have to go LCS hunting in the near future.
Am I a bad person if I want them to send you the wrong thing again just to hear from you how angry you are?
You're a bad friend, maybe not a bad person. I've never wished bad things upon you, Jess. Think of how good of a friend I've been over the past 2 years, Jess.
I know. I won't wish that on you then. I changed my mind. I will not wish that on you. You checked on me in the hospital. That's absolutely the pinnacle of our friendship was established right there. So I won't wish that on you.
So if you could send out some good vibes, that I'll get this, whatever that means.
Here's another thing that I wouldn't wish on anybody, and I know you share this as well.
Dude, my wife even comments on that almost every time she's in my office.
Is that right?
Because she edits her, she's a photographer for weddings and family portraits, and she does her editing here on her iMac. And she's like right face level with those books. And she goes, every single time I look over, it bugs me that it's white, 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 black, black. And it's like, if it bothers my wife, who doesn't give a rip about comics, then you know it's a big deal.
And I'm usually not a person with non-matching spine disorder, but for this, I am. This should have just been all white or all black or something, or just all white. The whole thing looked good when it was all white and these colors. I loved these spines for Rebirth. They looked great.
And that blue spine from Green Arrow was egregious too.
Oh yeah, that's right. So this is a complaint. Peace and love, but DC, this is a complaint. Sorry, not sorry.
Well, going off the Rebirth line, them just totally canceling everything besides apparently Tom King's Batman. Like, I really love Joshua Williamson's Flash. And all I have is 3 hardcovers now to get all the trades. And I think that does the same thing that Aquaman by Kelly Sue DeConnick does, where it's hardcovers and then trades. So you go from deluxe to standard to trades with one run. That's insanity.
Yeah.
That really makes me mad.
I have that Flash run. Oh yeah, and they're in 2 different places because I didn't want to mix my deluxes with trades.
It's just so annoying. I really want to finish that Joshua Williamson run. I'm still mad about that. It's like, come on. And I even heard him in an interview saying that really bugged him.
Oh, okay.
I think creators are really bummed about that, and he's hoping that someday they'll put his run into an Omni form because he's finished his run. It's like 100 issues. That'd probably be like what, 3 or 4 Omnis. So I hope they'll at least do that for him. But yeah, it just really annoys me because I love those DC Rebirth hardcovers. They were like Marvel's version of stuff I have over here. I love these OHCs that Marvel still puts out.
Yeah.
I can't believe they just totally discontinued that line.
That's not thinking about the consumer. Here's another thing that's not thinking about the consumer, although I don't know. This is a newer comic book company, but they put out a quality product. The stuff that I've read from them is really good, but there doesn't seem to be any kind of, I have to get these all even. There doesn't seem to be any kind of continuity going with the size of their hardcovers. This is Aftershock. And
within the same series too.
There's 3 books for Animosity, and all 3 are different sizes. And this is a bunch of Aftershock hardcovers, and they're all different sizes. I get it if you're going to put a couple in different sizes, but Animosity should all at least be in the same size. Let's see. Animosity is in 3 different sizes. Let me pull that out because I like Animosity a lot.
I hope that whenever they do the next Baby Teeth hardcover, I hope that's the same trim size. Because I really like that series. I don't want them to have like all these different sizes like this series you have right here.
Yeah. This is not cool.
It's a good series from what I've heard, though.
What's that?
Animosity. Don't you like that a lot? That makes it even worse.
And these are really well put together books. I'll give them credit for that. They're well put together. They're really nicely designed. They're affordable, but they are not they're not uniform in size at all.
And everybody, we have 92 people in the chat. We only have 29 likes. So hit that thumbs up if you can.
Even if you dislike us, it helps in the algorithm.
But don't dislike us because our moms will be my mom will be upset. My mom thinks everyone likes me, like Jerry's mom.
Will be upset. So yeah, don't.
How could anyone not like you? Like Jerry's mom.
Mom for sure.
You can play with it at Jess's house when you go visit them.
And that is your wife going from wife to mom.
Actually, Comic Bound had a really good point earlier while you were talking about animosity at 754. This is a
Okay.
big gripe for me. For those of you who've watched our show, you know I hate big books. And he said, how about books that are just too big and need splitting up? I'm okay with big books to a certain extent, but there's a lot of stuff that gets released as one book that easily be two. I definitely agree with that. I hate how DC does those huge monsters. I think any omnibus over 1,000 pages is too much personally. I think it's way too big. And so I like books that are a little bit smaller. But like something like Why the Last Man omnibus, Ex Machina omnibus. What is the biggest omnibus at this point? It used to be Colossal Conan, but I'm trying to think of what the biggest would be. It might be War of the Realms, actually.
War of the Realms is pretty big. Yeah, Big Sin City used to be the title holder, but I feel like War of the Realms is bigger.
How do you feel about big omnibus? I know you'll buy them, but how do you feel about them in general?
I have an easy way to read them with my the laptop cushion I have. I just put them on there, and it doesn't bother me. New Mutants was pretty big, and I didn't have a problem reading them as long as the binding is okay. And you know, you don't want a mousetrap binding on a big Herkin book like that. As long as the binding's okay, they don't bother me the way they bother you. But I understand why they bother you. I do understand that. That's not something that bothers me, but I get it.
Yeah, the binding's just always better when the book's smaller. That's just how it is with the book of that size.
True. Well, here's next Imagine That. The only other options are to call a B&N near you with an in-store copy, highly unlikely, and ask them to tell you, or just sign up for a CGN wish list alert.
What book are you talking about there?
Silver Surfer.
Oh, okay. Is that like which run is that?
It's the first one, the Stan Lee.
Oh, okay.
I sold my. I think you were getting Murdoch when I was telling him.
Oh, okay.
I sold my original copy to Raleigh, and because I knew there was a reprint coming, and it's all botched up, and now I don't know what to do. I have the Marvel Masterworks, so I may just have to settle for those.
I'm surprised you were trying to upgrade. Usually you don't upgrade very much.
Well, I downgraded. I had the omnibus and I sold it.
Oh, then you got the Marvel Masterworks.
In its place as a placeholder till I got the Omni, and now.
Gotcha.
Here is Spencer says Blackest Night Omni is 1,664 pages.
See, I think Riley's on the opposite end of the spectrum. The bigger, the better. I think he would love like a 20,000 page omnibus. It would take a whole shelf on his Billy shelf or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, Lloyd, you're right. The Grell Green Arrow book is really big. And there was another one. Marcelo was saying Final Crisis. Yeah, and Final Crisis is also big. Infinite Crisis, I think, used to be the biggest book. 52 and Infinite Crisis are both pretty big omnis.
So I think my two biggest complaints, besides the ones we talked about, and even this kind of ties into the whole DC Rebirth deluxe editions, is putting out a hardcover, putting out an omnibus, and not finishing the run. Because you're putting people in a really bad position. And I've complained about this at least 1 million times. The Dr. Aphra hardcover, Marvel put me in the most annoying position ever. That they released the hardcover, a lot of the trades are out of print now, and now they release an omnibus. And so I'm stuck with a hardcover that nobody wants. And what am I going to do with it? And that makes me really annoyed. And that's a DC move. That's not a Marvel move usually, but Marvel did it. I mean, the biggest example I can think of with this too with DC is releasing the unwritten deluxe edition and just totally leaving us out to dry. And I sold it at half-price books for like $3 because nobody wants it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to sell that because everyone knows there's not going to be a second volume.
Right.
It's so frustrating. So what do you think a company's responsibility is when they start releasing something in a certain edition? Do you think they have a certain responsibility to finish it out, or what do you think?
Yeah, I predicted it, and I don't know if it's going to come true, but I purposely did not upgrade to Snyder Batman Omnibus 1 because I didn't think there was going to be an Omnibus 2, and there hasn't been
Was
yet.
that 2 years ago at this point it came
At
out?
least. Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
Can you think of a DC run that's been more popular in the past 10 years than that book? It makes no sense. That's one of the most popular Batman runs of all time, and they still haven't solicited a volume 2.
I knew that was going to happen. That's why I didn't do it.
It just makes no sense to me.
No, I think there's a certain expectation on the customer's part that if you put out volume 1 in hardcover, you're going to release them all in hardcover. Like with the Unwritten, that would have been, I don't know, there's like 11 trades of that. So what's that going to be? 4 or 5 hardcovers? That would have been beautiful.
Yeah.
Another gripe. This is for Dark Horse. Hardcover and trades of this extremely important and great run are out of print. You can't get this book. Trade paperback.
Oh, the trades are out of print. The trade omnis.
Most of the trades, I mean, maybe number 4 is in print or something, but the majority, I know all the hardcovers are out of print, and I think most of the trades are out of print. That's unacceptable for this book. This is a great book that everybody needs to read. If you're reading the Mignolaverse, you have to have this book. And that I don't know what's going on with Dark Horse. They should be right on top of that. At least, if you're not going to redo the hardcovers, at least redo the paperbacks.
I'm glad I have those then. And I think there's one more omnibus to come out and the BPRD is over. The Devil You Know hardcover. I think that comes out in a month or 2.
Right.
So I'm definitely getting that day one because Dark Horse, they way underprint every single time. You think they learned the lesson by now, but they haven't. It's like Dark Horse doesn't think that people like their books at all. So they like print like 100 of them. It's like, come on, like print double what you think you need, even triple. People are gonna buy them.
Speaking of underprinting Vision and Scarlet Witch collection and the Scarlet Witch collection by Robinson, when you've got WandaVision on.
That's been a nightmare for me. Like Jess has been telling me you need this book. And so I ordered an IST. IST oversold it, so I couldn't get it. Order from Amazon, get the wrong book. I keep telling Jess, this book better be worth it. It better be good because I'm really going through my paces for it.
Oh, the James Robinson book?
Yeah, I really hope it's good.
Now I'm afraid I've built it up too much, but I really love that run.
Well, I had to go through a lot for the losers. I went through a lot to get those 2 books, and I got them and loved them. So it was worth the effort. So I'm hoping it'll be worth the effort, like for those books.
Wait, there's a conversation going on without me with the next Imaginaut, so I want to know what we're talking about. Are we still talking about Silver Surfer? Let's see. Omni Dog's Vault, I snagged one of the corrected editions during CGN's last restock and will confirm that the paper is distressingly thin and binding tight, albeit stretchable. Had I to do it again, I would. Okay. Okay. That's for Silver Surfer.
Jess, was there ever a book that you went to extraordinary lengths to get, and then you read it and you were like, oh, that wasn't very good?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like you went through a really hard time hunting for it, getting it, and you read it, and you're like, really? All that work for nothing?
I'll have to think about that. That is a really good question. I'm trying to think. So much is back in print now, except for Plague of Frogs.
This would probably be like a 2015, 2016 Jess experience, back when you were really hunting in earnest.
Yeah.
Did it take you a long time to accumulate the Annihilation Conquest, all that stuff, or was that easier for you?
That was easy for me back then because I grabbed Annihilation just before it went out of print, and I had the other 3, and then Conquest came out, or I can't remember, but it was easy for me back in 2015 or whenever I got it. Okay, wait, next Imaginaut's still talking to me in the chat. Just a sec. I would have just kept the misprinted edition because of the superiority of the paper quality and binding, which is a compromise I would rarely make. That is a good point. I could get the omnibus and keep the Marvel Masterworks, so at least I have the omnibus of Silver Surfer, but I have it in the correct order in the Masterworks. So maybe I'll just go ahead and buy it. So yeah, Scarlet Witch by Robinson, and then Vision and Scarlet Witch collection. Both of those sold out really fast. And with WandaVision on TV, I think Marvel should have known better. And I can't answer your question right now about a book that I really strongly was looking for and then disappointed by.
We'll just think about it. Maybe we'll talk about it next time.
That's a really good question.
I'm sure there has to be one with how many books you've had and how many books you've hunted for. There's had to have been one that you harpooned and you didn't like it when you got it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll tell you why, because I sell them.
Oh, that's true.
Aphrodite.
5? Is that what it is?
I think it's 9.
Oh, 9. Okay, I know there's like a number in there.
Yeah.
Is that the Image hardcovers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was way out of print. That might have been a Top Cow. Aphrodite 9 may have started out at Top Cow. It had great art, but a really ponderous type. Oh, Cowboy Ninja Viking.
Oh, right. I do remember you saying that was terrible. Is that Riley Rossmo art?
Yeah.
I know I wouldn't like it then.
Right. Yeah, you don't like his art, but yeah, for Aphrodite 9 was fine. I just didn't dig it. But Cowboy Ninja Viking, I found on that 2016 West Coast hunt that I did all up and down California and the West Coast. I found 2 copies of it and sold one to somebody in the Omnibus Collectors group. And I can't believe that thing was optioned for a movie because it made 0 sense to me. And I will admit, if a book's over my head, like Little Bird, Ram V loved it, but I didn't want to tell him that I didn't understand it. But I'll tell you when a book's over my head. I couldn't even review Little Bird because I didn't understand it.
Or Jack the Repairman, or whatever it was called.
Yeah, that one too. But I didn't have to hunt for that one. Cowboy Ninja Viking, I just thought was a mess. It was a complete mess. I looked all over for it and found it and sold it as soon as I got done reading it.
How long was that a hard one for you to find too?
I had looked for 2 years for it.
Oh, wow. That sucks.
And then I found 2 copies of it in the same store with James Dayrit. I don't think Bon Idlehouse was with us at that point. He had gone home. But James was taking me to all these East Bay comic book shops in California. Yeah, that was that. That's why I couldn't come up with it immediately, because they're not on my shelves anymore.
That makes sense. Speaking of underprinting, Boom is notorious for underprinting hardcovers.
Oh yeah, somebody
like Irredeemable, those sold out really quick. Power Rangers sell out. That's Boom, right? Yeah, that's Boom.
Yeah.
They just, I don't know what it is. They way underprint. It's kind of similar to Dark Horse, but Dark Horse usually has them come back intermittently. I think Boom does they did a good job with Power Rangers sometimes. They kind of kept it coming back a little bit. But with Irredeemable, once it was done, it was done. And they did that paper omnibus.
And they did it with the 5 deluxe hardcovers. Those sold out really fast. 4 and 5 sold out in a week. And this was back before the pandemic. This was like 2018 or 2019 when those sold out really fast.
Does Lumberjane sell out, those hardcovers?
I didn't have a problem finding those hardcovers. Those are great, but I didn't have a problem finding those. But Irredeemable is ridiculous. Everybody knows how much I love that, and that should be evergreen. It should always be in print, and Boom makes it so hard to get that book.
Is that paperback omnibus out of print already?
Irredeemable?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure Incorruptible's still in print, and that was the first time it had been collected, other than thin trade paperback. I sold. That's one book I upgraded. I sold my trades and upgraded to the Incorruptible Omni. But that gripes my cookies. Irredeemable right there. That may be my number one gripe.
How many times think I've texted you recently and been like, I hate buying comics right now. It's just buying comics right now is really, really frustrating. It's not as enjoyable as it used to be. It's just you have to buy things right away. They go out of stock all the time. You have to look all over the place for it. It's just I get the delays right now. I get it. But it's just that kind of compounded with everything else makes it very frustrating. Like you order something, oh, sorry, this is out of stock. You'll get there in a month. This is sold out in a day. It's starting to get really frustrating. And I'm glad that more people are getting into the hobby, but the companies need to up their orders because of that. They can't act like it's what it used to be. It's different. People want more of these. It's a good problem, but it's still a problem nonetheless.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, the past year has not been fun to collect collected editions. I don't know what it's like going to an LCS for floppies. I order some floppies, some variant covers, and I have my LCS send them to me. So I don't go to the LCS because I'm taking the pandemic super seriously. But it's a frustrating time to be a comic collected edition buyer. I don't know what it's like to be a floppy buyer, but for collected editions, it is really annoying.
And there are just so many things even if you go on IST and CGN's like backlog, there are so many things you wouldn't expect that are older that are out of print now because people are going back and buying more, not just new releases, but old stock. So books that maybe you've slept on for a while because they've been in print for a long time, they could be out of print now because people are going back and buying older books too. So you really can't sleep on anything anymore. And it's just hard. It's just hard to get anything. And you can't buy everything you want right away. You have to space it out. So you have to make decisions of what is my priority right now? What can I be okay with not getting, essentially?
Yeah.
There are some books I would always be okay not getting a comic. I'm not gonna die, but if I'm not gonna get those new Criminal Deluxes, I would probably throw a hissy fit, like a little toddler in a Target store. Because I want those new Criminal Deluxes. But apparently Ed Brubaker said they're printing a lot of them. And it was a diamond issue. So it's gonna be fine. So we don't need to worry about that. But there are some books you have to prioritize over others. You have to decide these are the ones I can afford not to get, basically.
Yeah. And then you go back and they're not there.
Right. So it's frustrating.
Yeah.
It is what it is at this point. But I'm glad more people are getting into the hobby, but it just gets really annoying. It brings a whole host of new problems. I'll say that.
Yeah. The last one I have on my list, this is kind of a small one, and I guess I don't even know if I want to make a big deal out of this one.
Well, that's why we're here, Jess. So might as well.
Well, they're putting out Joker War in a hardcover, and then they're including Joker War 3 weeks later in the Joker War Saga.
I do think that's annoying.
A bunch of content. Why would I buy Joker War ever if I'm going to just wait for the Joker War Saga, which contains the whole thing?
Yeah, the Joker War Batman hardcover just contains, I think it's 95 to 100, I think. Yeah. And then the Joker War Saga contains a bunch of other tie-ins from like Nightwing, the Detective, I think, other books too. So it's like, why would I want an inferior book that's $10 cheaper? It makes no sense.
Yeah, there has to be some strategy there. Well, no, it's DC, so there's no strategy there. Yeah, no, I don't think there is a strategy.
That's really fun. I'm definitely getting the Joker War Saga hardcover, not just the one with the Batman issues.
I'm doing that under protest, only to keep up with Batman, because I am so relentlessly sick of the Joker. It's just so I can keep up with the Batman comic because I love Batman.
And we both enjoy James Tynion's detective run, so we both want to give him a chance in that form as well.
Right, 100%. Yeah.
Do you have any other complaints you want to air before we get to some more tangents, maybe?
I think I've vented enough. What else?
Here's the thing I want to hear your opinion on. I hear a lot of people complain about how DC's Omnis all have different spines, whereas Marvel, for the most part, has uniformity.
Right.
I personally like DC's different spines. I think it looks more colorful on the shelf. It stands out a little bit more. But I get people's desire for uniformity. I don't like when books within a series have different spines. Keep that consistent design throughout a series. But I don't mind like Super Sons having a different spine than Aquaman by Jeff Johns. I think it looks pretty cool. Do you have an opinion about that?
I like Marvel's uniformity, and I like them both. I know that sounds wishy-washy, but it doesn't bother me. I think it looks really cool on the shelf with Marvel's uniformity. And I think you're right. I like how colorful DC's are. I before I started working trades and oversized hardcovers that went along with the Omnis, the wall I'm facing was nothing but Marvel Omnibus, and it was really cool how they all had that same trade spine with the Marvel Omnibus on top, or Marvel hardcover. Like Fall of the Mutants is a giant hardcover. So I liked how that looked. Now I'm sticking, because I'm running out of room, I'm sticking other hardcovers and paperbacks in with everything, and it doesn't look as cool. But I'm okay with Spectre and Grayson both looking different.
Yeah, I think as long as an Omni series has uniformity within that series, that's fine. I just don't mind if it's different than other books from different series, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like Morrison's Batman all is uniform.
Right.
John's Green Lantern is uniform.
I mean, even Marvel looks different. Like, look at the shelf behind me over here. There's black and white spines.
Right.
And there's different designs on it. I think that probably the biggest standout for Marvel Omnis is the Daredevil by Miller Omnis, because they are totally different designs than all the other Marvel Omnis. I know that drives Tyler Blunt insane.
I was just going to say Tyler hates those.
Our next endeavor is to get Tyler into the Absolute game. I was so close the other day. I was like this far away from it. I have to push him over that cliff to get Absolutes.
Is he gonna do it?
I'm so close, Jess. We both got to push him over that cliff. Everybody, don't tell Tyler. We're doing this. He's not here tonight. I know he's doing something tonight, so he's not watching. So we got to push Tyler over that cliff together, Jess. Like Gerard Butler and 300, we got to We Are Sparta him into that deep well of Absolutes. I only want to do it for his well-being, because Absolutes are like my favorite editions.
I love Absolutes. Yeah. Comic Bound, you need to read Savage Shores too. Blue and Green is great, but Savage Shores is one of the best things out there.
I personally enjoyed these Savage Shores more than Blue and Green. Nothing against Blue and Green. I just like these Savage Shores even more.
Yeah.
I am really looking forward to Ram V's DC stuff, though. Based on our conversation earlier this week, there's a lot of cool stuff coming out from him.
I really liked how Ram V explained Future State.
You mean how he actually explained it, unlike DC, which is like, "Hey, we're gonna go 20 years in the future. Hope you like it."
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, why should I buy this? Because it looks cool. All right. Well,
Ram V actually explained what Future State was about and what's going to happen afterwards when we interviewed him. And it made complete sense. I'm like, oh, well, I want to read Future State now. That sounds interesting to me. And I want to read your stuff afterwards, because DC has not done a good job on telling me why I need to get these books at all.
Right. And so, yeah, because it seemed like a placeholder until they went to the next initiative.
Right.
But according to him, that's not what it is at all. It's kind of like whetting your appetite for how these books are going to go in different directions with Infinite Frontier. And I didn't even know Infinite Frontier was even a thing until he told us about it. I had no idea that was even an initiative coming up. That's kind of how out of touch I am with books coming out in singles right now, because I'm so into the collected edition game. I'm so lost with what's happening right now
Yeah.
every week with floppies.
Right. Yeah. Oxmeat Pete agrees with us. We did, and it only took him a minute to explain it. He just said,
Right.
if that 30 seconds was what he said. And we're like, oh, okay, well, we're in. It sounds interesting. Yeah. Rich brings up something I wanted to talk about, and standard size hardcovers from DC, and not. I've already made a video about this. What they should be reprinting and putting into absolute form or omnibus form. I think omnibus form would be the question. John Byrne's Superman should have been in that format. Obviously, the unwritten. John Ostrander's The Spectre, Hitman. Those should all be in oversized hardcovers. Those are at various stages of out of printedness, and if that's a word, I just made it up. But those, John Byrne's should have been oversized, should have been an omnibus. Question should be an omnibus, or at least reprinted into oversized hardcovers. And all the other ones I just named. I mean, I did a whole video on what DC should do probably 2 years ago when Why the Last Man came out in a omnibus, because you already had Why the Last Man in deluxe, then you had Why the Last Man in absolute, and then they did Why the Last Man in omnibus format. You don't need that many prestige formats for one series.
Yeah, how many editions can we have of Watchmen? Like, it's been made in every single edition imaginable. Next, they'll put out a Watchmen omnibus with like a bunch of different extras or something. Like, that's the only format they haven't done yet, is a Watchmen omnibus. Besides before Watchmen, I mean, like the real Watchmen.
Yeah, Ostrander's Suicide Squad and Gail Simone's Birds of Prey and Gail Simone's Suicide Squad.
DC needs to reprint the Gail Simone omnibus. That was barely in print. I missed that. It was out for like a day. One? Yeah, Gail Simone's Wonder Woman, that was out for like a day and it was gone. And that's like, I'm not even joking. That book is almost impossible to buy right now. It's like there's like one on eBay for like $500 or something. Like, you're not going to be able to get it unless you somehow find it at a random LCS. That's a book that's like ghosted. It's just gone. And DC needs to reprint that because I really want to read that stuff.
It's, yeah. I mean, we did a whole Wonder Woman episode with Maddie, and we talked extensively about how great that run was by Gail Simone.
Well, that was back in the day. Well, it's still kind of like this to some degree, but things would sell out, not even just a day. They would sell out in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And once it was gone, it was gone. And so that was kind of like, I think that was in March or April when the pandemic started. And so like it was just in the wind. So I'm hoping I can get that book at some point.
Oh, let me not let Dynamite off the hook for that Red Sonja Gail Simone disaster.
You waited for longer than any other person in collected editions history for that book.
I put my order into Tales of Wonder for the signed Gail Simone Red Sonja omnibus. Now, I waited a full year. Actually, I may have waited 18 months. I think I waited 18 months before I got it, and it wasn't signed. The books never even got shipped to Gail Simone for her to sign them. So Dynamite, I love you, but you're not off the hook on this one. That was a botch job.
Dynamite, do something about the snap, crackle, and pop of your James Bond hardcovers. That'd be fantastic.
Oh, here's Paul Baker's got a whole laundry list of things he wants reprinted.
Reprinted or just printed in general?
Well, printed in yeah, you're right. Printed in oversight. Well, a lot of these are out of print.
There is an LCS by me that has all the Secret Six complete collections. I should probably get those at some point.
Those are good, yeah. Well, Red Robin's out of print. Those Batgirls. those all of those deserve oversized hardcovers. Paul Baker, you're right.
Especially Dixon's Nightwing. People want that really bad.
Yeah.
That's probably the one out of that whole list that people want. I would say that and The Question. Because Question, it's not even a matter of oversized format. It's any format. You can't get it in any format at this point.
Yeah. Wait, just the collector is saying, was Red Sonja the book they dropped crates of it and destroyed them? You were supposed to get a signed one. Is that what happened? Okay. I know that they, oh, Crazy Jane. Let me call out Fantagraphics. You're exactly right.
For the Motel 6, Motel 8, little notepad paper they put in
I
there.
love Peter Bag. I love Hate. I couldn't wait to get the Hate 3 hardcover set, box set. First of all, box set. I love the idea of a box set of anything. And it was supposed to be a signed book plate that I paid full price for. And I threw away this piece of paper that I thought was the inventory slip. And it was like a Motel 6 notepad with P-Bag's signature on it, floating around, and it wasn't even attached to the book.
I think they found like a check at a restaurant that he hastily signed and just threw it in there for you.
It was the equivalent of that. Yeah, it looked like motel stationery that he just, the notepads, and he just wrote. And I don't blame Peter Bag for that. I blame whoever was in charge of supposedly making a book plate. A book plate is a nice plate that's attached with the guy's signature on the front page. That drove me nuts.
Speaking of which, I Love Hate is the perfect name for your biography, Jess. The Jess Bragg story. They got a picture of like you like looking at someone like this. That'd be a great photo op and title. It feels pretty good to get this off our chest, doesn't it, Jess? It feels pretty good to just vent and let these things out. To scream into the collected editions void that nobody will hear us.
Old man yells at cloud.
The one Simpsons reference I understand.
Tolga bound Red Robin himself. That's a cool idea.
Yeah, you haven't done a custom bind in quite a while, haven't you?
I haven't. I've been thinking about some. I mean, I certainly have enough trades that I could have something done of. I could. There's lots that I could, but it is. I mean, it gets into a cost thing.
I think Marvel you shouldn't do that for because Marvel is the one who's doing more omnis at this point. But I think DC, there's some books you can assume they're not going to do anything with.
Yeah. If Power Pack is getting a second omnibus, which they are, nothing's off limits at Marvel.
Oh, I mean, this is a big series, though. I was so excited when Omar announced the Ultimate Spider-Man Omnibus 1 reprint. And that's going to sell gangbusters, and they're going to do more of those. So I'm really excited about that. That's an omnibus I'm definitely going to pick up. Because I've been wanting to read that series so bad. Because I used to read some of them in singles as a teenager.
Uh-huh.
And I would just love to have that entire run in omnibus. Because right now it's impossible to collect pretty much.
Yeah.
Because they didn't finish the Ultimate Collection. The hardcovers are way out of print. Some of the trades are out of print. So there's no way. And that's arguably one of the most popular Marvel runs of all time. I would say it's like top 5, top 10. That was very, very popular. And so I think they printed way too many of the first run. And they did those Barnes and Noble exclusives, and those just sat for a while.
Yeah.
But again, that was how many years ago? The Omni game is so much bigger now, so much more popular back than when they made it back in the early 2000s. So I think this will be really popular.
We just hit 101. Thank you for tuning in and helping us break 100. That is awesome. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Oh, no. Lloyd Wong says Parker Last Call was delayed until August. That book's been delayed at least 3 times.
Well, he said, so is it true?
I hope it's not. I really want that book. That's one of my books of the year that I want really bad.
I don't actually know the answer to that. And whenever I do a collected edition video at the beginning of the month with comicreleases.com's Chris, we always say anything at this point can get moved. So Lloyd, you could totally be right. Stuff's getting moved all the time. I know that there's, what Gabe tells me is that there is a problem getting the books from China now. I think because of the coronavirus, the books are like sitting in ships waiting to be unloaded in like Los Angeles from China. And they're having trouble unloading them because of something to do with the pandemic. I don't know if they think they're going to get the virus from the books, or the ships are full of it, or they don't have enough longshoremen. I don't know what it is, but something's going on. The books are out there and they're just not getting onto American shores right now. That's what a lot of these things that are getting pushed back for.
Yeah, I feel like there's been a lot of pushback.
Price issue as well.
I feel like in particular, there's been a lot of pushbacks in the past month. Like a lot of February books were pushed to March.
Yeah.
And now with the ice storms, things are getting pushed back even more in terms of IST and other places too.
Well, yeah, sure. I don't know what IST is going to do next Tuesday if they put everything on sale.
Yeah, because last week was supposed to be a pretty big week, right? For some people.
Let me look
at some omnis that were supposed to come out.
Let me look at February books real quick.
James Abel says there's also a major shipping container shortage over near Singapore. So that's container stuff.
The 17th wasn't a big, huge week, but the last week of February is. Wait, we're in February, right? Yeah.
Yeah, February 20th.
The last week is really big. That's when Dr. Aphra, your favorite book, comes out, and a bunch of other books come out too. I have a huge list of the first and last weeks of February were front and back loaded with a lot of books.
I remember we did a couple weeks ago, we did our most anticipated editions of 2021. April's going to be a huge month unless things get pushed. There was like 10 books I wanted in April, and they were big books too.
Yeah.
Unless things get pushed, because again, they really could.
April's going to be a big month. A really big month.
Oh, it was people really want Uncanny X-Men 4. The
right.
That's the one that wasn't that last week? It was supposed to be last week or this past week.
Uncanny X-Men 4. Let me look. I just closed it back up.
I think that was one that people were really wanting to get, and then IST couldn't get them shipped out or even put them on their website.
You're right. That was last week. That was the big book last week, number 4.
People do go crazy about their X-Men, so I can see that being a problem for some people.
Yeah, I pre-ordered that, so I'm hoping everything's okay there. Here's a complaint that I think is legit. I don't know why they did it, but yeah, they changed the covers on the Aphra Omnis.
Yeah, because remember I showed you the new one, and you were annoyed because it wasn't the one you saw before. You were like, "That's not the one that they showed earlier."
That's not
this is what's on preview, so I'm about to say it's what they have on there.
Yeah, you're right. I was annoyed at that.
That happens a lot, though. When they release something for solicits, they totally change it.
For really?
I've noticed that. I would say a lot. It's happened a handful of times. I've noticed where they'll like solicit a certain image, then it won't be the image on the actual cover. They did that with the James Robinson complete collection. They solicited a certain picture, and it wasn't the picture that they had on the final product.
Scarlet Witch?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking like of a major Omni like that.
Oh, I don't know, maybe not a major Omni, but I think sometimes they use placeholder images for solicits.
Oh well, yeah, that I agree with, but
and then it's not anything to do with what's actually going to look like when it comes out.
Are you messing with me, Bobby? Don't even say that. That Aphra's been moved to mid-March. Is she sitting in a dock in Los Angeles or something?
Sitting on the dock of the bay.
Oh my gosh.
Assume everything's getting pushed right now. Just assume it at this point, Jess.
That's a book that I actually was going to read as soon as I got it, which doesn't happen very much.
That actually works out better for me in my credit card statement, so I hope it's true.
Oh, and your archived Amazon orders? Which I never knew about. Okay, Lloyd says, I just checked Indigo online in Canada and their release date was originally in May. Now it's changed to August. I'm bummed because I really wanted that Parker book. Okay, so I bet that is a victim of this container problem.
Can anyone tell us for sure that Parker's delayed till August? That's what I really care about. I really want to know if Parker Martini Edition Last Call is not coming out soon, because that's probably gonna be my book of the year. Is that what he said for sure?
Yeah, that's what Lloyd just said. He went to. He's in Canada, but he went.
Oh,
he went. He checked on it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was confused when you saw about Indigo online. I didn't know what that meant. Okay.
Yeah, Hayden, I know IST still has it dated for Feb, but I don't know that. I mean, sometimes IST doesn't get those. If it's been pushed to March, they may not have had a chance to update their site.
Yeah, not to badmouth IST, but they are wrong with their dates a lot with their coming releases. Yeah. So I wouldn't trust that at all. I would trust previews. Previews is the most accurate thing you can find because they update theirs continually.
No, I don't trust previews. I trust comicreleases.com.
Yeah, but comicreleases.com, he has to base his things off of previews and other sites like it. So his information is only as good as those websites. Like I think I learned through previews. What was the book that was delayed for a while that I just told you about recently on previews? It was a book that we both really wanted. Oh, World of Black Hammer Volume 2. That was delayed until March. And previews was how we found out about it.
Oh, okay.
Because that was supposed to come out 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah. That's right. I would probably wait on that one because I think I've read that stuff anyway.
I would not wait. Don't wait on buying it.
Oh no,
it's gonna sell out.
You
wait on reading it.
Yeah, I meant reading.
I was gonna say, don't wait on that. I'm buying it. You need to buy it anyway.
I may have pre-ordered it. I'll have to check.
Black Hammer is one of those books I always get worried about when they come out because those sell out really quick.
Yeah, I agree. 100% agree. Okay. CGN list is now as 3.9. This is Afra, and Amazon has 3.23. Omar also mentioned it got pushed back in a recent video. All right.
That works out perfectly for me.
You and your budget?
Yep. My credit card statement turns over on the 28th at the end of each month. So that works out perfectly for me.
All right. Well, I'm glad it's good for you.
Yeah, don't wish anything bad upon me again, like with Scarlet Witch.
I took that back.
That's true. I'm just saying, don't wish this bad upon me either.
I immediately took that back.
Okay, I appreciate
it in front of the whole audience. I apologize.
It's like those things. It's like those things you say in public, especially to your wife, that you wish you could just grab out of the air and shove it back in your mouth. But that's happened to every husband. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I think it happened to me yesterday.
No! Get back in there.
Exactly. Ask me, what if it all comes out on March 3rd, Omnigeddon? I'm scared. If everything gets pushed back, yeah, I don't know. I pre-ordered Dr. Afra, so it just means she's not coming to me until April anyway, because I pre-ordered it, so it's not a big deal. But
how do they arrange your shipments for pre-orders? Like, how do they decide when to send you certain books? That makes sense. Like, how do they know which ones to send to you? In a certain box. DCBS
sends. I have it at once a month, so I try and group my orders as to when the books come out. So I pay more for shipping that way because they charge, I don't know, $7 for shipping, but I don't. That's okay. So if 4 books are coming out in July, then I try and order those as one order, and April as one order. That's how I try and group them.
What are the selections for choices for how you can group books? You do yours monthly. Are there other selections you can make? Like if you want to have your books like every 2 months, every week, like how, like are there different selections you can make?
I think every month is probably the furthest you can do it. I think you can do it bi-weekly.
Okay. I was just curious how it works.
Yeah.
The whole thing kind of confuses me, to be honest, with how they do it.
It took me a while to figure it out myself. I always pre-order statues from there.
Okay.
Because they have the best prices. They also have the best prices on Omnis. They're 50% off on DCBS. It took me a while to learn to group them by month.
Okay.
Because I definitely got stuck waiting for something in January that I had grouped. I had grouped something for September with a January thing. I don't know. It got all mixed up. I waited forever for a book, and so now I do it differently now at DCBS.
Because with all the different headaches I've been having lately, I've been thinking about dipping my toes into the pre-ordering water, but I'm just concerned from a budgeting standpoint of how to do these things. Because I'm so used to like the monthly grind of IST, of how that works. I feel like pre-ordering would be difficult because you pay right up front, I believe, right? Or do you pay when they ship?
I think you pay when they ship.
See, that's just hard for me to. I don't know how to budget that. You know what I mean? It's just hard for me to figure that out because you don't really know when they're going to ship exactly.
I think Tales of Wonder charges you when you order. I'm not sure.
Do you see what I mean, though? It's just hard to figure that out.
Yeah,
I can't have like a $300 credit card statement one month and have the next one be like $50. So it's just I want to group it out more strategically.
Right. I get what you're saying.
That's the one thing I'm concerned about.
Now I'm confused. I thought I had it figured out on DCBS. I think I do.
Use this both.
I think I do.
You have so many different pre-orders in the ether. It's hard to keep track of them, Jess. You got toys, you got statues, you got hot toys, you got action figures, you got.
I have it all written down so I don't double dip.
Do you ever see that It's Always Sunny meme with Charlie with all the different pictures and all the different string? That's like probably what you have down in your annex right now, trying to figure out all these things are coming in and when to get them in the house and when to get them in a cubby hole to hide.
Derek says DCBS gives you a date to pay by.
Okay.
They will also take it automatically later on after you place the order.
Okay, that'd be interesting to me. I would like to go for like a specific date every month that they take money out. That would be great.
Imagine that says with DCBS you pay at the beginning of the following month.
Ooh, that would work perfectly for me then. Sorry, this became the Taylor budgeting financial meeting. I'm just trying to figure out how this works. I don't want my wife to be like, "Why did you have a $350 cover bill this month?"
And it updates the 4th of every month.
Okay.
And then everything that was previously there is gone. So it's only that month. You can't back order like you can on IST.
Right. So if I want to order books in March, I have to start like March 1st pretty much?
No. If you want books in March, that probably started in November.
Oh, this sounds horrible. See, this even stresses me out even more. This is what I'm talking about, man. This is what
Just stick with IST then. Don't pre-order them.
I'm not built for this life. that should be the title of my biography.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not built for this life either, really.
You're built for life in your home.
Yeah.
That's what you're built for.
Yeah. Thank goodness for online retailers.
I was just talking to my wife the other day. Was this Tyler? I can't remember who it was.
You're getting Tyler and your wife mixed up now in conversations?
You know what it was? I had the same conversation with both of them because it was interesting to me.
Oh.
Oh, wait, it was with you. It was with you. Well, the other day I texted something to my wife that was meant for you and Tyler, and she said, "Oh, is this for your other woman?" I said, "No, it's for Jess and Tyler." She goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, your other women."
Yeah.
Oh, we were talking about how terrible it would be to live in the 1700s and not have pain meds.
Right.
Because I was talking about how I've been giving Sam kid morphine, kid Motrin, kid Motrin.
Chewable morphine.
People don't call Child Protective Services. I'm not getting my child morphine. But like Motrin, like for his teeth that are popping, and how that helps calm him down. And I know you're obviously on your pain medication. Can you imagine like 1600s not having anything? Forget about online ordering. Just think about basic things we have now.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I am in so much pain all the time that I don't know what I would have done if it wasn't for pain meds. And I don't know how we got on that subject, but yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't brought up my autocorrect mistake from earlier today.
That can stay private.
Okay, good. I was like, Jess is going to bring this up.
It'll be when you least expect it.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, wait. Here's Bobby Keating, who's trying to walk you through it.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like it could be. I feel like it'll be stressful, less stressful on the back end, but the front end of getting used to it sounds really stressful.
Right.
Because I would still have to do the monthly IST grind for a couple months and do the pre-ordering at the same time until I get into that groove. Since I can't pre-order things so it's like a 3 or 4 month distance, right, for pre-ordering.
Let's see. I think. Let's see. This is February. I think I did my June and August ordering this month. Anybody that's in the chat can correct me, but I think June and August were the books that I pre-ordered this month.
Man, you're like Marty McFly going back to the future with these pre-orders.
Marty McFly.
Or I guess you'd be Doc Brown and I'd be Marty McFly in this scenario.
No, we have to go back to the future.
He wasn't that old.
He seemed old. Now he doesn't. You're getting all kinds of advice in the chat.
Well, I appreciate it, everybody. I think I might start delving my toes into this water. I feel like it'd be less stressful in the long run.
Jack Starwood, whenever my girlfriend sees me watching a vid with either Jess or Omar, and she's like, how much are they going to cost us this month? That's like the greatest compliment. Thank you so much, Jax.
Do you ever wonder how much, like a dollar amount, you've taken out of people's accounts to tell them about certain books? Like, it has to be like tens of thousands of dollars, right?
I don't know.
With how money over the past, you've been doing these shows for 5 years? Almost
2017, 4 years. Yeah.
So 4 years. Think about how many books you've helped sell, how much money you've helped put in the pockets of these companies.
The only proof I have of that is when we helped sell out Fury Max from Amazon that time.
That was one of my favorite highlights of any show we've ever done. I think that was where we were checking Amazon every couple minutes. And it would go down and down and down. It was like start at 25 or 20 and went down to 0 by the end of the show with that Fury Max review.
That's the only proof I have that I had any influence over anybody. Otherwise, people say, like he just said, you're costing me money. Like Jax just said, you're costing me money. But I don't really know if people buy what I suggest.
They do. They always tell us they do.
Well, that's true.
Well, think about how many copies of Irredeemable you help sell. Remember when Mark Waid gave you that $1 royalty? So.
Yeah, well, I try and only recommend the books that I think people are really gonna like. So, here's Sally. Thank you, Sally. Just got me to read Rumble. Okay. Oh, I like your avatar there.
I really hope that John Arcudi comes back to that series. I think there's definitely more stories to tell.
I agree with that.
There's the 6th trade.
Of all the people we've interviewed, I would like to interview him again first, because he was so easy to talk to.
Yeah, we've been so blessed lately. I feel like the whole time we've done interviews, we haven't had a bad interview. We've had
Everybody's been great.
That's great to hear. Crime Corner is murder. I'm really looking forward to our next Crime Corner, Jess. We're going to do the Marvel Noir books.
Is that what it's going to be? Okay, good.
Is that what you wanted to do? I thought you said you wanted to do those next.
I thought it was Sleeper and.
Oh, I think we decided to wait on Reckless until Volume 2 comes out, so we can review both at the same time. Because
Okay.
Volume 2 comes out in literally 2 months from now, so we might as well wait till the second one comes out at this point.
Okay, these are the kind of compliments I like. If I actually can get people to buy stuff that I think is good, then I think it's great, because I think I have pretty decent taste for a good comic book, with one exception that Taylor will never let me live down.
Matador. I think that was funny because that was legit our first Crime Corner we ever did, and that was the one you suggested for the show. That was why it was so funny to me.
Yeah. Ooh, and Lady Mechanica. Good, Sally. Thank you. That's one of my favorites.
Are those still in print and accessible, or are they hard to find?
No, they are in print. You can get them from Joe Benitez's website, and he'll sign them for you too. And they're all oversized hardcovers now at this point.
Those hardcovers are pretty pricey, right? I mean, for the amount of story you get,
they're
pretty thin, right? Like they're not like a ton.
Thin, but I don't think they're expensive.
Okay.
Plus,
so yeah, maybe I think of something else.
Plus, you can you get his signature on it, and you have the satisfaction of knowing he gets all the money. If you're a creator type person that likes creators to get the money.
Tolga has a great comment there, Jess.
Riley's helped start my collection too.
I think he helped start most of our collections.
Yeah.
I remember watching his video on his channel talking about starting the Omnibus Collectors comic swapping community. So that was like, it was him and Lou were pretty much the two big like YouTubers back then for collected editions. Now there's a lot of collected editions YouTubers. Back then it was just like the two of them. I think I don't even know if Omar even existed back then. He just started that. He started pretty soon after that.
He's always had some kind of podcast or something. I think he's been on the air since at least 2008 in some form or another.
Okay. He definitely obviously wasn't as popular as he is now. He's obviously the big man on campus at this point.
Well, and I'm glad for him too, because he deserves it.
Does he though? No. The person who loves Year 2 that much, do they really have that big of a channel on YouTube? The person who wants their absolute to be their main absolute desire is Batman Year 2. I'm not sure.
That's a good point. Oh, good. I'm glad that was your first Omni. I hope you enjoyed it.
That's a great first omnibus.
I actually have to jump off here because I have a Patreon with Omni Bros in 5 minutes, and my wife will now officially never pay attention to me again because I said I'll be up at 8:30 to take a break between this and the Patreon, and obviously I'm not going back upstairs.
You don't have to be on like right when it starts, right? You can go get a bathroom break and a snack or something.
Yeah, what the heck? We got 100 people watching us.
Seriously.
I want to keep them happy.
I'm sure Gabe and Riley and whoever's there can keep them entertained for a while.
That's true.
You're always the responsible one who's on time, Jess. Be the irresponsible one. Let your hair down for a couple minutes.
Okay.
Even though you just got it cut, so it didn't work as well for that illustration.
Oh, wait. They're talking about Silver Age Adam Strange?
Bobby Keating, you're right. Only 62 likes. We have 100 people, so definitely smash that like button.
Oh. About Irredeemable, Spectre, and Harley Quinn Omnis because of Jess's recommendation. I have been close to getting Silver Age Adam Strange too. You definitely should get Adam Strange. First of all, because it's got that great Carmine Infantino art all the way through it. And second, it's fun, readable Silver Age, which is hard to find. Readable Silver Age.
I can't wait for Tom King's Adam Strange book to finally come out in hardcover or any format when he's done with it. Whenever that's going to be.
Yeah, I actually follow him on Instagram now, but it's mostly pictures of him and his dog, which I can't say anything about.
That's a pretty good account, in my opinion.
I agree. I have tons of pictures of my dog on my Instagram. Jacques, you have nothing to worry about. zero interest in getting into manga. I've given it tons of tries. It's not for me. God bless, peace and love to everybody that loves manga. I wish I liked manga. It's just not for me. I've really tried to.
You actually should be glad you don't, because you can't afford another hobby at this point.
Mm-mm.
Can you imagine how much room 97 volumes of One Piece would take up in your collection?
No, you're 100% right.
I think it's a good thing you're not into it. I don't think you could. I think your whole collection would be spilling out into the hallway.
Secretly full with books just talked about. Thank you, Aiku. My creditors have Jess's address as my contact info. Go up and give her a kiss in between shows, Jess. It's all good. Okay, that's good advice. As Tolga Burke says, it's good advice. No, Taylor's not into manga either.
I'm less open to reading it than Jess is, which is saying something.
Yeah, I've tried reading it, and Taylor won't try reading it at all, which is...
I read some when I was in high school, and I did not enjoy it. I read Dragon Ball Z. I read some Hellsing books. It just wasn't for me. I'm not even that big of an anime fan, to be honest. It's just not for me. I like Cowboy Bebop and Castlevania. I know Castlevania is not even really an anime. That's pretty much it for my anime watching.
Have you seen Samurai Champloo?
No, I watched Samurai Jack, and that was good enough for me.
Samurai Champloo is really good. If you like Cowboy Bebop, it's by the same guy.
All right, I'll try Samurai Shampoo.
Champloo.
I'll try it on your recommendation, Jess.
Next Imagina is right. Silver Age DC books are Doom Patrol, Flash 1 through 3, and Adam Strange. I personally also like Green Lantern, but Flash and Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol is really readable. It's really out there and interesting for a Silver Age book.
Now that's an HBO Max show I need to watch, Doom Patrol. I still haven't watched that yet. Are you all caught up on WandaVision, Jess? I
am, yes.
Nice.
I saw it this morning.
That's one you have to watch every single Friday, or it's going to get spoiled for you. Are you still doing that, Jess? Are you still collecting, or are you just holding on to what you have? Yeah.
At Christmas time, I try and get the Christmas cereal boxes, but Captain Crunch has really been letting me down lately. They've had the same Captain Crunch box for the last 5 years. So I got Elf cereal like Tyler did.
Oh, right.
It is so sweet. I couldn't even make it through a bowl. And Tyler's just like opening his mouth and dumping the box in. I could not make it through it.
Now, whenever you collect these cereal boxes, do you always eat the cereal first or keep the cereal bags in there? Or do you use it just empty boxes?
I generally don't eat cereal anymore. I did try Elf. Oh God, Elf. I would never buy a cereal of Elf. But I wanted to try it because Tyler said it was so good, and it hurt my teeth.
Don't you want the Pokemon box that he got? The Pokemon cereal?
Yeah, just because I want the box. I wouldn't.
I'm surprised you don't even like Pokemon.
I dealt with it when my daughter was in 3rd grade. So, and I loved the Nintendo 64 game Pokemon Snap, where you could take pictures of them.
Did you ever play Pokemon Stadium?
No.
That was also fun, where you could bring in your characters from the Game Boy too.
Oh.
But Pokemon Snap was a lot of fun. I used to love throwing the apples at the Snorlax so he could wake up, and you take a picture of him when he wakes up.
Yeah.
That was a great game.
We even went to Blockbuster to print out the pictures on little stickers, and I am an indulgent parent, so there were little stickers all the way around my car of Pokemon Snap shots, little stickers where she would be in the passenger seat.
Aiku has a great news for you, Jess. There's a new Pokemon Snap coming for Switch. Would you buy that?
Is it? If it's completely new, I might play it myself. Yeah, it's fun. Oh, here's a good one. King Vitamin. I don't. That is a good one to own. I mean, that probably goes for real money on eBay. King Vitamin. I'm not familiar with UFOs, but I know King Vitamin is really a good one.
How expensive can some of these cereal boxes get on eBay?
It depends on how rare they are. If you're talking back in the 60s and 70s, they could be $50 to $100.
That's a pretty reasonable hobby. Not too bad.
Well, I guess you're right.
Compared to some things we buy, like toys and statues.
Well, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, new Pokemon Snap comes out on April 30th, Jess. So keep your eyes peeled for that one.
And it's completely new. I bet my daughter will want to play that. That'll be a good birthday gift for her.
That could be the new game you guys play.
Yeah. Okay, I have to wrap it up. I thank you so much to the audience for watching. I will definitely put it in the description that it started at 41:47. I have no idea when the topic ended because it seems like we went on another tangent afterwards.
They can turn it off. They'll be able to tell that we're done with the topic.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you to everybody that's watching. Thank you to the Minister of Comics for all his help all the time with everything, personally and video-wise. And please hit the like. Please feel free to leave a comment and subscribe. And Taylor, where can they find you on Instagram?
Well, as of the past 2 weeks, I have a new Instagram. So find me at Minister of Comics on Instagram. I try to post every day. Sometimes I even post twice a day. So follow me there. I'd love to see you guys in the comments, and hopefully you can find me pretty easily.
Yep. And you can find me, OmniDog, and OmniDog's Vault on YouTube, like right here, and on Instagram, OmniDogs_Vault, because some other dope took OmniDog's Vault on Instagram. So thank you so much. Peace and love. Peace and love.